Hi there, it's Kevin with GatheringMatches.com here with match number 4 with the Big Eldrazi. This is a very decent hand. We do have the Eye of Ugin, the Sanctum of Ugin, a Swamp, a Heartless Summoning, an Expedition map to go get the Urborg to Yawgmoth. It is a very, very strong hand with Inquisition, of course. And you know what? We don't even have to go get the Urborg to Yawgmoth because our opponent is... This is what I wanted to see, was like this kind of mirror type deck. So we're going to Inquisition him, see if there's anything we can get. We don't care about Wasteland Stranglers. Mind Stones. Mind Stones are actually a decent card you could put in this deck that helps ramp and whatnot. So he's got the Eye of Ugin, Bojuka Bog, Blight Herder. It's not the best hand versus us. And we do get rid of one of his ramp spells. So next turn I think I'm not going to give him any. Well, I can actually go Eye of Ugin next turn. He has an Eye of Ugin of his own and his Expedition map. So I mean he is definitely ramping out pretty decently. But so will we. There's a Thoughtseize. We can get rid of a Blight Herder here. I think it might, yeah, I think that's actually a better strategy. So we'll go Eldrazi Temple. I don't want to open up my Eye of Ugin to a Ghost Quarter. So, and we do know he's got a Blight Herder in hand. So we'll go Eldrazi Temple and Thoughtseize, which grabs the Blight Herder, which now as Bojuka Bog does not get the Blight Herder at least, and then we'll Expedition map, and that's going to be a decent... So he thinks it's a mirror, but this is not a mirror. This does give him 2 things for another Blight Herder. We have a lot of mana here. At this point we do Eye of Ugin, because that's 3, 4, 5. I think that we will just go Expedition map for another instead of Heartless Summoning, because we can just go... Yeah, I think that's fine. So we will at end of his turn, because there's no point to grabbing another Eldrazi Temple right now. Heartless Summoning would not give us enough to do both. So let's tutor up another Temple. And that's what he's going to do here. But we saw the hand. It's another Bojuka Bog that's in hand, and one unknown, and now an Eldrazi Temple. So I don't think he doesn't have enough for Ulamog. And they don't have a lot of those, so it's 1, 2, 3. He's going to cast Oblivion Sower, which I probably want to sack the Expedition map at the moment, just to get an Eldrazi Temple in hand, just in case he finds it. Now this is where it gets tricky. I hope he doesn't find... He finds nothing. Alright, so Thoughtseize, or he did find 4 cards into the battlefield. Yeah, so... he does have the Ghost Core. That was really rough, but that does allow us to grab a swamp at least. And we still have the Eldrazi Temple plan. There's a Spellskite. So we can go Temple or Sanctum of Ugin. It's Temple, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 6. So we'll just Heartless Summoning. And then Spellskite. Which Void Winnower actually shuts down his Oblivion Sower. So he probably just gonna... I would assume he would have cracked his Mind Stone there. So the Sower off his top of the library was brutal. We will just... I think we just block here. Is there any point to a Spellskite? What can Spellskite block in his deck? Just a Wasteland Strangler? Yeah, I think we actually keep the Spellskite alive to stop any like Doomblades or go for the Throats. So here's a Sanctum. So 1, 2, so 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so Void Winnower can come out here. And that's going to be really good. And why did I cast it that way? Oh, well. Not a biggie. Because that's 7, 8, 9. There's Void Winnower, which could have cracked the Sanctum of Ugin, but it's fine. Now he can't block with his Oblivion Sower. He also can't cast a removal spell in the form of a 2 mana. Plus we have the Spellskite. So this should be game at this point, because the Sanctum of Ugin will also find us another card. So the Sanctum of Ugin, we will destroy his Eldrazi Temple and Eldrazi Temple. And that should pretty much shut him down from getting a higher cost card. Most of his cards are pretty much taken care of. So I'm not quite sure Wurmcoil Engine comes in. Either the Doomblades and Go for the Throat can take care of his higher cards. Relics again can come in though. That's all his dust, of course, is pointless in this matchup. I think Sundering Titan and Platinum Angel are fine, because I don't know if he has a lot of ways to deal with Platinum Angel and Sundering Titan. The Inquisitions are actually quite weak in this deck. He can get rid of like Relic of Progenitus and stuff, but I don't think I care too much about him. Spellskites are like this is the wild card. I'm not quite sure how many removal spells he's going to bring in. These lists do vary quite a bit of what they have in the sideboards. So I'm thinking Spellskite can just come out for like more aggression with Wurmcoil Engines. Or I could bring in like more Doomblades and Go for the Throat. So I think I'll bring in a package of each, because they do get rid of... Now, what do they get rid of? Anything I care about? I actually don't think they do. The Wasteland Strangler, Blightherder doesn't do enough against Blightherder. Blightherder, I guess, is going to be our most problematic card. And I think I'd just rather bring in like Leyline of the Void, or Relic of Progenitus, or maybe even Spellskite to kind of have an early blocker for like Wasteland Stranglers you just hard cast possibly. Nah, I think it's just relics. Yeah, I don't think we need the Inquisitions or anything. And I'd like to be... Can he deal with a Wurmcoil Engine? Wurmcoil is rough for his deck to deal with, so I think that's actually a really good card to bring in. Yeah, just 2 relics. Because we want the Conduits, the Oblivion Sowers, the Kozilek's Channers, the Ulamogs, the Kozileks. All of those goodies. And yeah, we'll just submit this. Alright, another beautiful hand. We have double Oblivion Sowers, which is, it's okay. But we do have the Temple and a Ghost Quarter. This is absolutely good versus opposing Eye of Ugin. Our opponent molds to 5 and keeps his 5 and puts a card on top of his library, so it is like the top card. And a Scrabbling Clause, which again isn't... It's just going to cycling itself. Not a lot of stuff that we... do early on. And there's an Urborg Tomb Yawgmoth, which makes our Eldrazi, our Eye of Ugin a lot better. And we have a Ghost Quarter. I think it's just going to be yeah, I don't want to give him any targets at the moment through the temples. So it's just going to be another Swamp, I believe. But I mean, if we do draw into like Runner, Eldrazi Temple, yeah, we'll just Eldrazi Temple, sure. So I'm thinking he might just sack this clause. Oh, it has to have a target. Yeah, that's the reason why this is a lot weaker than Relic of Progenitus. So currently there is no target, and that makes it rough for him just to try to cycle through these Scrabbling Claws. An Urborg Tomb Yawgmoth on our side. I don't think I care. We'll put out the Ghost Quarters at this point. And we're slowly getting there. So So that's the weak part of this Eldrazi deck over our opponents, is against hyper-aggressive decks. The Wasteland Strangler keeps aggro decks in check. And this deck can get hands like this that are quite... I think a Mind Stone actually wants to be in here. Yeah, I'm really thinking Mind Stone does. Because it can get out a turn earlier Kozilek's Chandler if you do with like a first turn Eldrazi Temple and swamp into Mind Stone, and then that makes a third turn just with another basic Eldrazi Temple Mind Stone. We'll have to check the list and see what we can cut. There's a Heartless Summoning at this point. I don't think we care. We will just name some Eldrazi with the Cavern of Souls. And I could have cast this last turn, huh? No, say so it's 3, 4, 5, that's 6. With the Oblivion Sower. We'll put in all lands, which is just a Ghost Quarter. And what else did he... Does give him a... No, does not give a target out of his graveyard. So an Expedition Map, Relic, and a Mind Stone. And then we'll pass the turn. So it ramped us decently into another Ghost Quarter. We can shut down any sort of Eye of Ugin that our opponent plays. Again, Thoughtseize is not a problem at this point. He just gets rid of Ulamog, which we can tutor up with another Conduit of Ruin. And he does have a target to cycle the claws. But I'm believing this is going to be too little too late at this point. Inquisition hits a Heartless Summoning. Look at that. So he does have 2 cards. If he gets this card in exile. Okay, and then he just concedes because another Oblivion Sower is coming the next turn. And the Conduit of Ruin can go get us the other Ulamog. Alright, so we'll play one more. This has been Kevin with GatheringMagic.com. Thanks for watching.